Hello everyone, very good evening to one and all. I hope that all of you are doing really great, and I welcome you all to the StudyIQ IAS English in this lecture where we are going to talk about the society, the urban culture, Varna system and other socio-economical aspects of the age of Lord Buddha, Mauryan age and the age of Ashoka. So we will try to understand that how was the society, what were the levels of development, how did the economy change in that time period, and this lecture will also serve the most significant value to be asked in the UPSC Civil Services Prelims examination. So make it sure that you attend this lecture from beginning to the end and try to grab as much as possible from this. This is going to be the first part of the chapter where we are going to talk about the developments which took place in the economic aspect. In the next part, we will be talking about the social aspect. So overall, we will cover the socio-economic aspects which evolved during the Buddhist and Mauryan periods. So very good evening everybody, Bulbul Gupta ji and Aisha, very good evening, Mantasha, Sarvendra and Random Concepts, very good evening everyone. And I hope that all of you are already watching this lecture, and in fact you have watched the previous lectures already. So moving further, and as we all know, right, as we all know, the particular topic is related to the Mauryan and post-Mauryan society and culture, etc. Right, everyone? Now, those students who are here for the first time, let me tell you that we are already having prelims to interview batches which are going on, but the latest batch is going to finally close its admissions on 31st of July. So you can join the preferred batches as per your choice in English or Hindi. Do not forget to use this code ASR live and you will be getting this discounted price of 29,999 rupees. All right. Now moving to the topic straight. So here you can see the map. Map is showing you the distribution of the northern black polished wares. What is the meaning of this northern black polished wares? So guys, let me tell you one thing. If we try to trace the development of economy, economy with the help of pottery development, then you will realize that in each and every period, either current period or in the time period of the ancient history, the potteries have always been the indicator of the socio-economic prosperity of the particular dynasty or particular people living in that area. All right, everyone. Now, if I'm talking about the socio-economic prosperity with the help of the potteries, then let me give you an overview about the pottery development. So first of all, in the Neolithic age, all right, in the Neolithic age, you will simply see the handmade and uneven structured potteries. All right, everyone, uneven structured potteries. After that, if you will come to the Chalcolithic age, right, in the Chalcolithic age, you will be able to find the basic redware pottery having the presence of handmade as well as the wheel made, or simply the potter's wheel made pottery. Okay. Afterwards, if you come to the age of bronze culture, okay, age of the bronze culture, here you start finding the bronze culture. Bronze culture included the Harappan age or the Harappan civilization. It included the early Vedic culture. there you will find the potteries which are known as the black and red wares, black and red wares, or sometimes also called as the black on red wares, black on red wares. The difference between the two, the black and red wares, they had the monochromatic distribution of the colors. Monochromatic distribution of the colors means the base of the pottery that used to be blackish, and the rest part of the pottery, that used to be reddish in color. Okay, and this was black. So this is black and red. But when it comes to the black on red, the black on red was actually, right, it was actually giving you the artistic impression over the pottery where the linear patterns were used. Sometimes also you can find the geometrical pattern. Okay, the geometrical pattern, the color of the pottery that used to be the red color. However, the decoration pattern, the pattern of decoration, that was red color. Okay, pattern of red color. So that was known as the black on red pottery. This particular pottery, it was found, right, in fact both of these potteries were present in the Indus Valley civilization period, right? But when it comes to the early Vedic culture, in the early Vedic culture, you will find the presence of both the red ware as well as the ochre colored pottery, okay, OCP, or the ochre colored pottery. Let me tell you, the ochre colored pottery is nothing but essentially the red color pottery only, but there is a little bit difference in the color of the pottery due to the difference in the soil that was used to make these potteries. Alright everyone, after that, once you are coming from the Neolithic, moving to the Chalcolithic, moving to the Bronze Age culture, and then thereafter further moving to the Iron Age culture. Okay, Iron Age culture. In the Iron Age culture, there you will find the variation in the manufacturing as well as the uses of the pottery. Here what will happen? The economic prosperity as well as the technological and geographical expansions, they will lead to what? They will lead to the development of the new pottery style, and now we will have the painted grey wares, that is PGW. Okay, PGW. However, in the Iron Age, during the later Vedic period, we will have the painted grey wares. Okay, painted grey wares. But when we talk about the Mahajanpad, right, Mahajanpad and Mauryan period, there we start getting the presence of what? The presence of the northern black polished wares. All right everyone, so this northern black polished ware is basically called as the urban pottery, right? And this pottery, it had several intricate features such as the glossy shiny finish, such as the use of the dual tone, sometimes bichromatic potteries were also found, and at the same time they indicated the presence of the luster, which was probably due to the use of the metallic oxides or any type of other refractory materials might be used. Some of the historians and archaeologists have also found the evidence of the evidence of the ceramics, ceramic like materials in the construction of such potteries. All these indicate what? All these developments indicate the feature of the potteries which are directly related to the socio-economic well-being in a society. So we can naturally say that in the Harappan civilization, during the Indus Valley civilization as we call, the pottery was decorated, it was very good looking, and which indicated the prosperous society. Similarly, during the Buddhist and later on the Mauryan period, we will have the lustrous, shiny and well polished pottery, which again indicates what? The urban phase of culture, urban phase of culture. All right, everyone. So that clearly means that pottery evolution or the pottery development has been closely related to the growth of urban features in a particular culture. Even today also you can realize it, that at the houses of the poor people you will find the simple potteries, right? And at the houses of the rich people you will find the very richly carved or richly intricately designed potteries with lots of decorative features. Right now, today also when the guests come into our homes, our parents or particularly our mother, they used to serve the guests as per their social status in the different types of the potteries. Some of them get the simple potteries, some others they get very fine piece of crockeries which are kept inside the box. Okay, you might be aware about it. Now moving further, as we call it, if we understood this particular map, you can understand the beginning of the second urbanization as we call. Why are we calling it as the second urbanization? It is because in this phase of socio-economic development, we will find the presence of the northern black polished ware, also known as the NBPW phase. Why? Because we have studied about the socio-economic changes which occurred during the 6th century BC, and during those periods, those times, these areas in the Gangetic plains, you can see this particular picture. Here you will find that in the Gangetic plains, particularly in the Doab region, you can find this is the Ganga river, this is the Yamuna river. Okay, Ganga river and Yamuna river. In the Doab region, you can see the black and red ware, right? They are present in great density, particularly in the Doab region. Apart from that, the painted grey ware cultures are also found mostly in the similar sites, but more in the upper plains of the northern alluvial zone. So this indicates that the entire region of northern plains, it was getting urbanized. What were the major features of the pottery as well as the urban culture? So pottery was, as I told you, the black polished pottery that was a shiny, made up of the fine material. Okay, made up of the fine material. You can see this is basically the northern black polished ware about which I am talking. Okay, polished ware. Can you even imagine, by looking at the shape and shine of this pottery as well as the decorative details and the strength of this pottery, you cannot even imagine that this pottery is as old as approximately 2500 years old earthen pottery. Okay, earthen pottery, that much old it is. And this one, it is even older, even more old. You can see the wear and tear of this pottery. However, this is called as the black on red. Black on red. You can see the black patterns here. Okay, these black patterns or these decorative patterns, they are basically used as the decoration plots, and they are from the Harappan civilization. So these potteries are these potteries are even older, like as old as 5,000 plus years. Okay, so this is how we can understand the different types of the potteries which developed during these periods. Why are we so much emphasizing upon the potteries? Because they are the direct indicators of the socio-economic features. Now, iron implements, they were also obtained from the various places in the second phase of urbanization. So, the claims which we had made in the previous lectures, that is due to the presence of iron, the urban civilizations developed, that is proven with the evidence of the iron hoards as well as the hoards of the iron tools, implements, right, implements, etc. found from the Gangetic plains, all right. Here, beginning of the metal money, burnt bricks and ring wells, right, beginning of the metal money, burnt bricks and the ring wells, these are also indicatives, of the utilities which were now increasing in the numbers during the second phase of urbanization. Okay, why you don't upload the PDF on Telegram? Okay, because right, I was thinking to upload the entire sequence. So today you will be getting the complete NCERT PDFs which are not uploaded till now. Apart from that, everything else is uploaded that is related to the classes. Now, NCERT PDFs that will be uploaded today itself, just after the class is over, it will be immediately uploaded. Then the settled area under the NBPW phase, that was thrice as large as under the black and red ware, which means what? That with the expansion of the urbanization, the population also increased, or vice versa, that is also true, which means with the expansion of the agricultural production, the population increased and therefore the urbanization further expanded. When the urbanization further expanded, which clearly indicates that the area under the NBPW phase, that will be larger than the area under the previous phase, which was the black and red ware. Remember that black and red ware indicated the rural settlement, black on red ware indicated the urban settlement, only red ware, only ochre colored pottery, these indicated the rural settlements, but northern black ware, painted grey wares, they indicated the urban settlements. So let me make a table for all of you. This table will help you to understand the nature of pottery and their relations with the urban or rural. Okay, pottery and nature. So here red ware, okay, red ware basically rural culture. Okay, then black and red, that is semi-urban. Then black on red, that is urban. Then ochre colored pottery, it is rural. Then PGW, okay, semi-urban. That means whenever I say semi-urban, which means that from rural to urban development, in that phase it was used. Okay, here also the rural to urban development. Okay, now after PGW you will find the northern black polished wares, and they will be properly urban. If you talk about the time period, so urban, this is during the Indus Valley civilization, this is during the Buddhist and Mauryan ages. Okay, so this is very, very important for you to understand the correlation between the pottery type as well as the nature of the civilization or culture. All right, everyone. Now, moving further, here you can understand, one thing, that if I'm talking about, the spread of these areas on the map, you can understand with the painted grey ware culture, the PGW culture, it was spreaded mostly in the alluvial plains. This indicates the upper to mid-Gangetic plains. Remember that these informations are very, very useful for your prelims examination. Okay, and in case if we talk about the NBPW phase, NBPW phase, you can understand the distribution of the NBPW phase right here from the foothills as well as the Himalayan region, and you will find it up to the areas of the Malwa and Bengal, up to that area. Okay, up to that area. So this entire region, it was under the NBPW phase, it was under the NBPW phase. Okay, remember that. This complete shaded area was under the NBPW phase, which indicates that originally it was as big as thrice of the red ware area, Now moving further, you can you have already seen these pictures. Now talking about the main towns, okay, the major towns mentioned in the contemporary texts of Buddhist and the Mauryan periods. All right, everyone. In the map also, if you observe the map as well, in the map also you will see the presence of various towns here. These towns are Rajgrih, Vaishali, Pataliputra, Ayodhya, Kaushambi, Kannauj, Mathura, Indraprastha, Hastinapur, Kurukshetra, Ropar. All these are Vidisha, Ujjain. All these are the important towns. But which of them are actually mentioned in the literary evidences, and what is the significance of those towns which are mentioned? If we observe the direct mentions, we find Kaushambi, Shravasti, Shringar, Verapur, Varanasi, Vaishali, Rajgir, Patliputra, Champa, etc. Guys, all these places used to be the centers of the market activities or the economic activities, centers of the urban settlement. Some of them also were the centers of the political activities or the capital of the Mahajanapadas during the Buddhist period, which indicated that these important cities, they found the mention in the Jataka tales, they found the mention in the Pitak literature related to the Buddhism. Also they found mentions in the various references given to the Mauryan period. Not only that, the mid-Gangetic plains had the wooden enclosures. So it was a common practice that these urban settlements, they used to have the large palaces made up of the wood and mud. They were used to construct the huge houses. Naturally, these houses were perishable. These houses were always susceptible to the weather and climatic changes, climatic conditions. So that is why we do not find the enough evidences in this field. Also because the Gangetic area, it was having the heavy presence of moisture, and at the same time the presence of the wood as well as the mud structure, that both of these were the degradable structures which might have degraded over the hundreds of years which have passed from then. But still we are able to trace the Kumhara Palace from a place near Patna in Bihar, And from that Kumhara Palace, we can very well assume the dimensions of this particular structure. It was believed to be the structure of a Mauryan royal palace. However, this could be any other structure, because the Pali literature, various sources in the Pali literature, they mention that in those times there used to be the 7-story buildings, 7-story buildings of made up of the wood and mud structures. So that is why it was not a surprise that such a huge palisade was unearthed from the Kumhara. Then the Champa was a place, right? Champa, as we all might be aware, that it was the capital of the Ang Mahajanpad. So Champa, in the Prakrit literature, it was also known as the Vaniyagam. This is a very important terminology for the prelims examination. So Vaniyagam, basically Vaniyagam in the Prakrit text, that was having the meaning, okay, the meaning is the center of Vanik. Okay, Vanik means the merchants. So the center of the traders and merchants, that was another name of Champa. Similarly, you find the mention of the Saddalput, that was near Vaishali, and it was a very famous weaving center. Weaving center means the textile manufacturing center, that was situated near Vaishali in Bihar. Another famous city, that was Varanasi, and Varanasi was famous for the ivory craft center. In fact, there are various Pali texts which mention that the ivory manufactured particularly for the purpose of jewelry and the luxurious products, it was mostly exported to the different countries, and it was heavily in the demand in the Greek, Persia and other Western Asian regions. So that means this ivory trade gave the huge profit to the merchants located in the Gangetic plains. Alright everyone, at the same time, the ivory, when it was utilized in such a vast scale, this also indicated the presence of the elephants in particular area. That means these areas, despite having the sufficient economic activities, these areas also had the particular trade activities also, or particular forest presence as well. Not just that, if I am talking about the other aspects, the various trading groups, right? The various trading groups actually existed, and those trading groups, let me tell you that they were actually used to form the various groups as per their specific trade. For example, suppose there is a trader who works in the ivory goods, there is another trader who works in the golden jewelry, now there is a third trader group that works in the leather goods. So there will be the community, separate associations of these traders. They will be having, right, the enough autonomy to establish their own rules, regulations for the work of their traders group. They will be able to decide the prices. They will be able to dictate the terms and conditions for trading purpose. They will be able to determine the level of production and the supplies into the market. So that means they had the sufficient level of autonomy as it was required to function in the market. In fact, let me tell you, due to that economic autonomy that they had, these trading guilds, which were also known as the Shreni, right, Shreni, and headed by Shreshthi, or sometimes also called as Sethis. They will become popular in the later times, even in the Deccan region, and later on during the Satvahana period we will observe the presence of the Chettis. Okay, Chettis. So when the time will follow and the Satvahana period, Vakataka period, that will be coming up in the later centuries, these northern tradition of the trading guilds will travel to the Deccan area because of the Mauryan administration, of course, and the Shreshthi who was the head of the guild, that person will now be called as a Chetti or Shetty. Okay, that term will be used. Why were these important? Because these autonomous associations led by the trader groups, these autonomous associations, they used to travel far and long, and their products were sold to the different regions of the Indian subcontinent, to the different parts of the South as well as the Western Asia. Not only that, they used to follow the various trading highways. For example, there was a major trading center in the Gangetic plain called as Shravasti, okay, which was connected with the place called as Pataliputra and Gaya. So practically this highway passed through the Vaishali and it went up to the Shravasti region via Kushinagar, all right. And when it reached to Shravasti, this Shravasti highway was also connected to the Kaushambi, which was located near modern Allahabad or Prayag. So this Kaushambi was located on the pathway that proceeded to Vidisha, Ujjain, Maheshmati, and further as deep as up to Pratishthan in the Deccan area. That Pratishthan was also known as the Paithan. So this great highway, it was called as Dakshinapath. Okay, and the primary great highway which went as far as up to Takshashila, this was known as Uttarapath. However, the Pali literatures, they also described that the merchants of the Ujjaini and Vidisha and Kaushambi, they went to Mathura, and from Mathura onwards they went along the banks of Yamuna up to the Kurukshetra, from where they proceeded to Takshashila region. So overall we can say that the merchants extensively utilized the rivers, banks, as well as the foothills, etc., right, in the form of the natural guide to their trading pathways. I hope everybody got the clear understanding of the ancient pathways. So the question can be asked in a format. For example, there could be a question related to this particular topic. It will be directly mentioning about the different cities, and the second statement will be saying that this particular pathway like Uttarapath, it used to pass through the cities, right? For example, let me just frame a question for all of you. Here the question is directly in front of you. Consider the following statements. Okay, very simple. Statement 1 says that Rajgrih or Rajgir, Vaishali and Mathura were located along the Uttarapath. Statement number 2, Uttarapath and Dakshinapath indicated two major trading routes during the Mauryan and post-Mauryan period. So let us keep this question very simple. Direct options are there. Option A. So you have to find the, right, consider the following statements and find the correct statement. Okay, correct statement. So here option number, right, only one. Option A says only one. Option B says only two. Option C says both 1 and 2, and option D says that none of the 1 and 2. So what should be your answer to this question? Try to answer this question in the chat box, and if you have understood this concept, definitely you will be able to answer that question very easily. Got it, everyone? Now moving to the topic. So here if I am talking about the trade routes, I hope everybody got the clear idea of the trade routes. Now talking about the another aspect, that is the metal currency and money. We all are aware that the metal currency and the money, they are the backbones. They are the backbones of the economy. Okay, backbones of the economy. And the development of economy, that naturally indicates the utilization of the currency, utilization of the money, and this is why we must understand one point. That the development of money and growth of economy, they are mutually supportive to each other. Had there been no currency development, the growth of economy would have been difficult. Why so? Because we should understand that currency, right, the currency that helps or that facilitates the easy exchange, easy exchange of the goods and services. Okay, so it becomes absolutely easy when you have got a neutral amount or a neutral substance to exchange in the return of your goods and services, because this neutral, right, valuation, this can be standardized. So the standardization of the value of that product, that symbol, it helps the fixation of the purchase value and the sale value. For example, suppose if I have to purchase a computer, I am having this particular device, I will be giving 100 of this particular device, then probably I will be getting one computer. However, if I have to purchase computer but I don't have this device, I might be having this particular device, then I need to give 1000 of this secondary device to purchase a computer. So the exchange is very much unstable, very much indeterminate. But at the same time, if we have a specific currency with a specific value, with a specialized authority, then it becomes very easy to exchange that particular product in lieu of that currency value which is authorized by the issuing authority, issuing power. Okay, everybody. So the question arises in our mind that who might be the first authority in India which issued the currency. So the answer is the same trading associations, the trading guilds which were working, they had issued the earliest currency in India. No other king, no other ruler, but the trading associations or the guilds called Shreni. Okay, here you can understand why, because metallic currency, it facilitated the trade, and the trade was done by the associations or the guilds. So they started the use of the silver punch marked coins, But in the world, the first authorized currency which was standardized and facilitated the trade operations as per the record. That is probably invented at a place called Lydia in the Asia Minor around 7th century BC. Alright. In India, we used to have the barter system. Got it everyone? We used to have the barter system. However, the barter system, as I told you, was very much flexible, very much unstable at the same time. Therefore, the currency was very inevitable to be introduced for the better trade and commerce exercises. Nishk and Shatman. Not only the Nishk and Shatman, Nishk, Shatman, Krishnal. Okay, Krishnal. These are certain names which are mentioned in the text references of the Vedic period, but they have no material presence. They are written, but the material evidence is not obtained. This is why it becomes very difficult to determine whether these were the real coins or these were simply the imagination while the writing was done. However, we get the evidences of the silver marked punch coins, right, because they appeared during the Buddha age. After silver, the next metal that was used for the purpose of coin manufacturing, coin minting, that was copper. So guys, remember it, the first metal used by the mankind, that was copper, and the first metal used for the currency purpose, that was silver. That was silver. Initially they were punched through the hard presses of iron. Later on, the die struck and the cast coins were also used. The cast coins basically casted in the mold. Mold is basically the sacha, in Hindi we call it sacha. So the molds were used to make the coins. Also the die casting was done. What is the die casting? Die casting is basically a solid hard frame in which the metal is kept, and the another hard frame that comes and punches it, it becomes in the same shape, right? So in India we find the largest coin hoards belonging to the Mauryan period, belonging to the Buddhist period, from the eastern UP and Bihar region, these areas, right, eastern UP and Bihar region. However, the earliest coins from the similar period, they are obtained from the Takshashila region, Got it everyone? So I hope that you can easily view this, you can easily watch this, and this indicates the presence of the various markings and the punchings through the dies, as well as the punching through the iron pieces. Okay, so the symbols such as a peacock, such as a banyan and peepal tree, such as rhinos, elephants, sun, okay, moon, all these symbols, they were the commonmost symbols to be punched upon these coins, and you can see the combination of the multiple symbols which were punched upon this particular coin. Got it everyone? So I hope that all of you got a basic understanding with a lot of details about the economic condition which was prevalent during the Buddhist period and the Mauryan period. In the next lecture of this topic, we will be discussing in detail about the societal as well as the socio-cultural aspects of the Mauryan and the Buddhist period. We will also try to understand the impacts of the Central Asian advents which was followed immediately after the decline of the Mauryan Empire, and we will try to understand that what were the consequences of the contacts with Central Asian powers like the Indo-Greeks, Shakas, Parthians, Kushanas, etc., etc. In case you are seriously looking to attempt and clear the next year's examination, then you have the choice to join our batches which are going to close the admissions on 31st of July. These batches will be the evening batches on 6 p.m. again, and These batches will be giving you several benefits, not just in the form of the choosing the medium of instruction, but also comprehensive and separate attention would be given for the prelims stage, mains stage and the interview stage. The classes will be accompanied by the provisions of the current affairs, by the provisions of the prelims specific classes as well as the mains specific residential program, and these all will be supplemented through the classes which will be related to your personality development, related to your DAF evaluation, all these things. So guys, you have got a golden opportunity to get yourself enrolled, but the thing is that originally this price is rupees 70,000 for the course. However, if you are using this code ASR live, then you can avail this course only at rupees 29,999 rupees. In case if you want the content which I will be uploading today itself, as various previous classes are also having the pendency of the contents upload, so I will be trying my best to completely upload the contents of the previous classes as well on this Telegram group, that is my Telegram group. You can join as per your convenience. So guys, thank you so much for watching it. Let's hope that we will tomorrow as well with a new class, new topic. Until then, take care everyone. Bye bye and stay safe. Jai Hind.